Hey y'all, this is TCA Gaming. So we've got a lot of cool stuff that's going to go on in this video. Let me preface you guys with the fact that I'm going to show you something that I've never owned before and that I've chased it for almost 10 years now. It's nothing crazy expensive, but it is something I've been looking for a while. So first, so we can go ahead and get something in the background, we're going to start off with this. I got another one. I saw one of these popped up with the Charizard stuck in the middle. I was like, yeah, 175 bucks. I mean, that's $50 more than I paid for the last one, but it has Charizard again in the middle, and prices have really went up. So I went ahead and bought it. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever noticed here on the back side, but you know, it shows all these 3 different levels, you know, plus 3 levels of rare, hollow, full, parallel inserts. You know, it tells you how much, like how often you can pull Spectra, Sparkle, and Techno. If you ever read this part right here, it says you may be holding a mini sheet of one of these parallel inserts right now. So I've never actually owned one of these inserts that actually had one of the crazy Sparkle, Techno, or Spectra Chrome. But if you guys have, I would be interested to know what you... I'd like to see a picture of it actually, because I just haven't seen it before. But anyways, I own like maybe 5 or 6 of these things, 2 with Charizard in the middle. So I'm happy to say that I do have some with the Charizard in the middle. All right, moving on. We're going to start off with some of the small stuff. You know, I was going through my bulk, and you know, I found some cards that had like little print dots and different things on them. Like this one, you can kind of see them there. What was interesting about these energy retrievals, I found 4 of them, all with the same dot. And just to give you guys an idea how much bulk I'm going through, I mean, it was probably 100 or 200 of the energy retrievals that were packed fresh, and I was just sorting through them. I've got a lot of bulk that I just buy from people, and I set it back just because I don't think that it's valued the way it should be just yet. And for me to price it out, you know, just make it look ridiculous on eBay, which I get a lot of flack about for the few cards that I do price really high. 90% of my product is priced at the cheapest, and it sells super fast. But then I have like 10% of my product, like that Shadowless Charizard, that PSA 7, or the Crystal Charizard that I really like, and I don't want to sell unless I can get over market value. And I price them high, and man, sometimes I get messages from people like, "Why is it priced so high?" And I'm like, this is where I price it. I was going through some of my hollows, which these are not all packed fresh. I thought I'd show something interesting. I know some of you know what I'm talking about. But if you look at the background here, you're looking at the background color. There are 2 different variants for the Poliwrath. You got the pink. I don't know how well the pink is pulling up, you know, on the camera. And then you have the blue. Most people don't know that there are 2 different variants for the background color. The pink, from what I've found, is a bit more rare than the blue back, you know, Poliwrath. And the other card that I've seen with the variant is not as prominent, but you can see it on the Mewtwo as well. You can kind of see how strong the purple and the pink pulls through. And then over here, it's obviously a blue that's pulling through on the background. These are not near mint cards, but you can see it. Like, you can definitely tell, you know, that's a purple hue. You know, this is blue. All right. Next up, I had a Charmander that had a really dark border. These normally you can't see really good on camera, so I'm going to just pull that one aside. I've got another one, Pikachu. These are, I'm going to make up a name right now for it, called the Strike Pikachu. But basically, it's through the very bottom. You can see where there's a line that goes all the way through the copyrights into the edge. And you can see it on all 3 of these. It has the exact same printing error. And I haven't looked through all my Pikachus. I know I have at least 200 of these Pikachus, so there may be more. But I found these spread out through one collection. So since I have 3 of them, it's very possible that there are other people out there that have this same Pikachu with the strike through error, or there may be other cards. I have to go look at my uncut sheet that were positioned around them on the sheet that have that same ink strike through. But you know, this isn't like your no damage Ninetales, you know, where it was obviously something was missing from the plate, or your War Turtle error. These are just little ink issues that could have been repeated, kind of like the error of first edition Butterfree. Alright, next up we have Mewtwo. And the reason I'm happy that I have this card, some of you can probably tell from the picture, this is actually the Mewtwo number 12 that was on the English side. This does not have the glossy stock, the Junior Rally one, which is more rare, but it's a lot easier to grade. And so I have a couple Mewtwo's that I bought off people already, and they were the Japanese Junior Rally stock, which again is it's actually a lot more rare, but it's a lot easier to grade. And so now I have both versions of the Mewtwo, and both of them are gem at 10. The only other way you'd be able to tell if the difference, if you can't pick up on the subtle differences in the ink printing, is if you shine a light through it, this one's going to be less translucent, whereas the other one is going to be fairly translucent because it has Japanese stock on it. All right, moving along, we have some more PSA cards. I traded for these. I'm not going to say how much value I put on, but some of you guys could probably guess. I traded only Eevee PSA 9s and then Venusaur number 13 PSA 8, 8.5, and 9. But out of the trade, I got Skarmory, Gem Mint 10. I got a Togetic Gem Mint 10. And these are first edition. So all three of these came from Neo Genesis. It's Togetic or Togetic is going to be the best probably out of those three. Next up from Gem Heroes, we have Missy's Tentacruel. That's one that I've tried making like 4 or 5 deals on. I've just been like $25 off every time. Next up, Erica's Venusaur. Very nice card. I've had so many opportunities to grab this card for about $500, and I just never pulled the trigger, and now I'm kind of paying up for it because the trade value I got for that was like $1,800. Next up from Jungle, we have Victory Bell Gem Mint 10. Really nice one. Got Electrode. This has a pretty decent grade on it, or it has the Gem Mint 10. I think that they should have counted off a little bit for the chipping on the edges. I don't know if you guys can see it. Well, you might not be able to see it from that angle. To me, it was pretty heavy in person looking at it. But overall, still a really nice grade because usually there's some heavy print lines going on. And then the last two, we have a Mr. Mime and a Drowsy. This Drowsy was just going into my Shadows collection. I had bought a complete Shadows PSA 10 non-holo set, and two of the cards ended up, one of them was Porygon, it was a regular, and then this one was a 9. I didn't even notice it was a 9 until now, which is like 3 months later. So I went back and I replaced this card. And then we have Mr. Mime, Gem at 10. Pretty tough card to get in Gem at 10. Alright, so now we're going to start moving into a little bit bigger stuff. Alright, first, this next purchase comes from, oh, there we go, Card Throne. The Card Throne. Maybe it's just Card Throne. He actually has a website. There's a pretty cool card that he sent with it. Here's all his information. Well, I think it is anyways. Just go to cardthrone.com. I think he has an IG. Oh, there we go. IG at the Card Throne. So you guys can see how much I paid for that one. So Rusty, nice doing business with you finally. $5,500 as agreed. And to me, at that time when I bought it, which was a week or so ago, or what, it was pretty much right at, the price and what it would cost. And today's $515, and by the time you guys see this video, it's probably going to be one of those things where it's already like a $7,000 or $8,000 box. I mean, that's just the way eBay is going right now. I mean, it might even be a little more. Who knows? Because I mean, Jungle's already up there, but you can see the box here. It's in pretty nice shape. Nothing too bad. I almost got this order confused with someone else because someone else had sent an order for Ike, and it wasn't, there was no identification in it whatsoever. And when I got it, I was like, oh, I almost went and paid the cart. I was like, hey, I got the fossil box. Here's your $5,500. But thankfully, he did provide tracking, and Ike also, when he bought that box, you guys got to see where there was those extras. Next up, probably my favorite purchase of the month. Venusaur was last month. Otherwise, that would be pretty close to it. But I'm going to move this stuff just so that I'm not like knocking it over. This is something that I've been chasing for nearly a decade. I've had a few chances to buy it, just never been able to pull the trigger. And so now that I have it, it's going into my personal collection. So this deal included a base set box. This is just a regular unlimited base set box. This is more of a buy-in for the other items that I wanted. Even though, I mean, this is a little over half of the price. And then I have a Trainer Deck B and a Trainer Deck A. Both of these are sealed. This Trainer Deck B does have a little bit of a flap issue right there, but I'm fine with that. Really, I was not after this deck. I don't have a sealed one anymore. I opened up the last one on camera for you guys so you guys could see the cards inside, and I graded all of those, and the Blastoise ended up getting a 10. But this Trainer Deck A right here, which is much more rare, I've never owned. And I've had all the cards inside of it before, but I've never had a sealed deck. Every time that I almost had a deal, it slipped right through my fingers. But now I have both of them. I bought these three together, paid $14,000 for the two decks and this. The way I saw it, it was roughly $7 for this and $7 for the box. and the box is probably worth a little bit more than that now. The deck A and the deck B, of course, these don't have as much demand because not many people even know about them. So the reason these decks are special is because they were put out, really close to the beginning of the game. It is speculated that these decks were given to early card, hobby stores, local game stores to promote the game, and so they would get these decks and they would open them up, and then they would teach people how to play with them, kind of like the demo deck. So that a lot of times when you find these, it'll just be single cards that are worn up, if you can find them at all, because they're really rare. I mean, it's not like this is something that was put out for very long at all. And you can see right here, for use with Pokemon League Pewter City season, not for resale. And then this one is the Cerulean City season. If you played in the original Pokemon League, you know that the first badge you got was the Boulder badge, and then after that you got Cascade. The Boulder was for the Pewter, Cascade was for Cerulean. I guess it matched up with the original movie series, or not the movie series, TV series, where Ash first goes into, Pewter City. He's trying to find Brock. He loses, to Onix, because Pikachu is too weak, and then they power up the Pikachu. Next thing you know, that he's about to lose, and sprinklers go off on the Onix. Yada. I mean, you guys have seen that stuff. And then he goes into Cerulean, where he battles Misty, and then of course both Brock and Misty end up staying with him for the journey. Now these cards they're actually very different. If you look at this right here, this is a card from this Trainer Deck B. On the back side, they actually say Trainer Deck B, and they have a red border. On the front side, a lot of the cards are exactly the same. However, there are two exceptions. In the Trainer Deck A, you have a Machamp from base set that is it's the only unlimited base set Machamp that you can get until, with that artwork, until there's a reprint. And not in base set 2. There was a reprint base set 2, but it's still first edition then, but until Legendary Collection. And then in Trainer Deck B, you have a non-hollow Blastoise from base set. And they do have this backside with the red border. So even the energies like this are pretty tough to find. And I remember when I opened up the Trainer Deck B for you guys here on camera, they were off-centered like this. So a lot of mine did not get to 10. The Blastoise did, thankfully, because that makes it a lot harder to find that card. Whereas with energies, there are several of those. Trainer Deck A, I'm not going to be opening this one, but I do still need, a spare deck, or I can just buy the cards individually. Now, to round out this video, we are going to open up something else. Now, this says for Rusty. This is for, I'm providing a middleman service for someone for a Neo Destiny box they bought for me, and then they're reselling it to someone else. And I told them I'd do it for free, but as long as I didn't have to handle any money. I don't like to handle the money when I'm doing middleman services. But it's like, oh, that's really nice of you, and he sent me this right here, which, if I remember correctly, he said was a Japanese base set pack. Oh wait, here we go. Looks like he has a note with it. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, there we go. Hi, Rusty. Thank you very much for offering to middleman this transaction. I wish all the best to you and your family, and good luck with the pull. IG Nostalgia Old Bird. So that was his IG. You guys can go check him out there. He's done some pretty good business with me. And from what he told me, I believe he said this was a heavy Japanese base set booster pack. So that's kind of exciting because these packs have really went up in price. And I'm going to open it up just because it was a free item. I mean, it's hard to make your money back, when opening up heavy packs. But, if there's a Charizard in here. Yeah, that's already went in there. You guys can probably tell that I've used the crap out of that blade. It's going to be on the front. Oh, I'm glad I opened it up the back side. So we'll put this card, I think it's on the front, at least it is with other sets. We'll put that one right there. Alright. So we have Voltorb. Now, I don't know much about the Japanese base set other than the most coveted cards have no rarity symbol right there. And I believe it has been determined it come from some sort of starter deck or the starter gift box with some packs in there. I'm not really sure, to be completely honest, but I don't think you can get them from regular booster packs. And I could be saying that very wrong, so somebody feel free to correct me down there in the description. I know that you can get some of the trainers like this, from other decks, like theme decks that don't have the symbol, but I believe the print is a different size, so you can tell the difference between that and ones that come from the actual no rarity base set. Oh, we got us the Squirtles. So we hit us a starter. And then we got Growlithe. So let's see if this actually was a heavy. Oh, it was. Check it out, Mewtwo. Man, that looks so nice. You can see the centering is off just a little bit. You know, this border, it's kind of hard to see with that box in the background. That might help a little bit. But you can kind of see the border on this side is a little bit bigger. But man, it looks great. On the back side, it looks pretty clean to me. Got a little dot right there. Maybe it's just some extra stuff on it. I think that red box will make it hard to get to 10 because look how the centering really shows right here compared to this top corner. Wow, thank you so much. It's very cool. I have not opened up an original base set pack in so long. Or I'm not even sure they call it the base set. I believe it's like the expansion pack or something like that. So I definitely appreciate that. And before I end the video, I'm going to actually do... No, never mind. I was thinking something else. All right, so that will be the end of the video. Thanks, guys, for watching. And I hope you learned something with the Trainer Deck A and B for those of you who haven't heard of it. And for those of you who have, I hope you enjoyed me rambling on. See you guys in another video.